Exercise 18-22, preparing a schedule of cost of goods manufactured. Chapter 18 is managerial accounting. Exercise 18-22, preparing a schedule of cost of goods manufactured. Clarkson Corporation, a lamp manufacturer, provided the following information for the year ended December 31st, 2016. So he gave you 3 types of inventories, which is raw materials, work in process, finished goods. He gave you the beginning balances and the ending balances for each one. Then he gave you other information: depreciation, plant, building and equipment, raw materials purchases, insurance on plant, sales, salaries, repairs and maintenance, plant, indirect labor, direct labor, administrative expenses. So from the title, we can understand that he wants you to find the cost of goods manufactured. But before we do that, let's read the other information items again. Now, we need to classify the cost. Is it product cost or period cost? As we said earlier, product cost is any cost related to the factory. Period cost, it's related to the office, not to the factory. So, product cost includes direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Under manufacturing overhead, you have indirect materials, indirect labor, and other overhead, which is any expense related to the factory. So I'm gonna write them down here. Product cost or factory cost includes direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Under manufacturing overhead, we have indirect cost, which is indirect materials, indirect labor, and other overhead, which is any expense related to the factory other than salaries and wages. Factory expenses like rent, utilities, taxes, insurance, depreciation, etc. Now, depreciation, plant, building and equipment. Since it's plant, means factory, okay? So it's an expense related to the factory. So it's gonna be other overhead, which is part of the manufacturing overhead. Raw materials purchases, I'm gonna use it to find direct materials used. Insurance on plant, again factory expense, so it's manufacturing overhead, again it's other overhead. Any factory expense other than salaries or wages, it's gonna be other overhead. Sales, salaries, so it's not related to the factory, so we call them period costs, not product costs. Repairs and maintenance, plant, okay, so again it's manufacturing overhead. Indirect labor, it's again part of the manufacturing overhead. Direct labor, it's product cost. Administrative expenses, it's period cost, it's related to the office. Now let's read the requirements in the next slide. Requirement number 1, use the information to prepare a schedule of cost of goods manufactured. Now to find the cost of goods manufactured, as you can see, this is your formula sheet. So cost of goods manufactured, it's here. It's beginning work in process, which is the beginning balance of work in process inventory. I add to it total manufacturing cost and I subtract ending work in process. Now if total manufacturing cost is not given, you go back. It's direct materials used plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. If direct materials used is not given, you go back. It's beginning raw materials plus purchases and freight in equals a subtotal code available for use less ending raw materials equals direct materials used. Okay, so I don't have the numbers here, but you can print the file. You can find the link in the description area. So let's see. Let's start with this one, cost of goods manufactured. So beginning work in process, it's 100,000 plus total manufacturing cost, which is not given, less ending work in process, which is 63,000. Okay, equals cost of goods manufactured. Now, total manufacturing cost is not given, so I'm gonna go back and find it. Direct materials used plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. Okay, so direct materials used, again, it's not given, so I need to find it. Beginning raw materials, it's 58,000. I'm gonna add to it purchases and freight in. It's given in the other information data. The second item, it's 157. I don't have any freight in this question, so I'm gonna consider it as 0. So 58 plus 157, it's gonna be 215. This is a subtotal. Okay, less ending raw materials inventory, which is 22,000. Okay, you're gonna get direct material use, which is 193,000. So I'm gonna go back to the second formula. Instead of direct materials used, I'm gonna write it's 193,000. Then I'm gonna add to it direct labor, which is 129 from other information, okay, before the last item. Okay, plus manufacturing overhead. Okay, as we mentioned, we have more than one manufacturing overhead. You need to list them down. Okay, so the first one was depreciation, plant, building and equipment, 13,000. Okay, so I'm gonna write them down here. 13,000. Then insurance on plant, 21,000. Then repairs and maintenance plant, 4,000. Indirect labor, 30,000. So this is manufacturing overhead. So you need to write the titles. As you can see, I don't have any space here. So it's 13 plus 21 plus 4 plus 30. It's gonna be 68,000. 68,000. So this is my manufacturing overhead. Plus direct labor, 129, plus direct materials used, 193, equals 390,000. Okay, so this is total manufacturing cost, which should be written here. Now 100 plus 390 minus 63. It's gonna be 427,000. And this is the answer for this question. Okay, this is requirement number 1, to find cost of goods manufactured. Okay, now requirement number 2, what is the unit product cost of Clarkson manufactured 2,135 lamps for the year? So to find the cost per unit, I need to divide. Okay, so it's gonna be cost of goods manufactured divided by number of units manufactured. So 427,000 divided by 2,135 units. So equals $200 per unit. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, please leave a comment. Please like, share and subscribe.